Have you ever found yourself mining Pi every day, watching it slowly build and wondering, what's it all actually going to be worth? Should you hold on to your Pi for the long haul or maybe trade it at a specific price? And just how high could that price go? Well, today, we're diving into the big questions around PiCoin's future value, the Pi Core team's vision, and what that means for pioneers like you. But before we get started, here's a question. What price do you think PiCoin could realistically reach? Drop your answers below in the comments. And if you want to catch up on all the latest developments around Pi Network, check out my previous videos. Link is in the description. Now, if you're a true Pi enthusiast, drop a Pi Network to the moon in the comments, along with your country. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to show your support so we can keep bringing you all the latest updates on Pi Network. Quick reminder, this video is purely for entertainment and is not investment advice. So with that, now, let's get things straight. The Pi Network project isn't chasing an outrageously high coin value. The core team isn't promising a to-the-moon scenario, but rather a stable, reasonable price that fosters steady growth. They know the value of sustainability in a fast-paced market, especially when PiCoin will rely on a network of real transactions, products, and exchanges. So the real message is this: a higher PiCoin price isn't always the dream it might seem. Why? Because unlike other cryptos, the Pi Network's strength lies in creating a value everyone can trust, trade, and grow with over time. You might recall from previous discussions that Pi Network's move toward the mainnet sparked a frenzy in markets trying to figure out what PiCoin is worth. As pioneers, we've all watched various marketplaces with their own PiCoin prices pop up, each setting a consensus price among users. And yet one big question remains. Why hasn't the Pi Core team simply announced a set value for Pi? Wouldn't that make things easier? Well, the short answer is, it doesn't work that way. PiCoin is unique because its value will be determined by the community. Even if the core team could shout from the rooftops, "This is the price," they can't really control whether people buy or sell at that rate. It's a coin in your hands. You decide what to trade it for. If you believe it's worth $314,159, you can ask for that. But will anyone buy it? That's the million-dollar question. If the core team tried to impose an official price, it would likely miss the mark. Their real focus is on fostering a market where supply and demand find a natural balance, a price X that buyers and sellers agree upon, no arm-twisting required. They're crafting a market where PiCoin won't swing wildly like so many other cryptocurrencies out there. Instead, they aim for a stable value that supports growth. But what price range might they have in mind? It's safe to assume they've set some long-term goals, and every step of the project nudges us toward that sweet spot. The Pi Core team is building a structure where the forces of supply and demand guide everyone, you included, to this price. Now, here's the thing. When we talk about a high PiCoin price, let's pause and think about what that means for everyone involved. If you're one of the many supporters who've rallied around the GCV rate of $314,159, it's understandable. People want to believe PiCoin could change lives overnight. There's a wave of pioneers promoting this price in every corner of the internet, setting up markets to trade goods at that GCV rate, and dreaming of PiCoin as a ticket to buy luxury cars, yachts, maybe even a mansion. But let's be honest, there's a limit to what PiCoin can buy, especially in such a budding market. While you might be able to get a loaf of bread, some fruits, or other small items, it's a stretch to expect Pi to fund those larger dreams just yet. And if new users came in, saw Pi at sky-high prices, they might hesitate to join. Who'd want to be part of a network where everything is out of reach? With PiCoin's price too high, the network would look more like an exclusive club than a growing community. The Pi Network would be stifled. Imagine an ecosystem where there's no fresh talent, no new ideas, and no influx of products and services. It would be like a ghost town, where a handful of pioneers cling to an overvalued rate, but there's no real exchange happening. That's not the kind of network that thrives, and certainly not what the Pi Core team wants. For Pi to succeed, it needs a fair, attainable price, one that's meaningful both within the network and in the broader economy. Let's dive into some examples. Today, a transaction on Pi Network has a fee of 0.1 Pi, and this fee is the same regardless of where you send it in the world. Compare this with traditional bank transfers through SWIFT, where fees start around $10 and can go as high as hundreds or thousands depending on the transaction's size and destination. So, if we take $10 as a benchmark for a global transfer, A Pi coin would need to be worth around $100 to match that fee equivalence. Curious how that $100 figure stacks up in real-world terms? Let's turn to the Fireside forum where 1 Pi can be exchanged for 100 tokens. These tokens let you interact, posting, commenting, engaging with others. Now think about the advertising costs on a social network like Facebook, where reaching 1,000 people can set you back around $11.20. For $100, you're looking at about 8,900 views. On Fireside, 1 Pi could easily give you reach that's comparable or even higher, letting your voice be heard by thousands of other pioneers. This kind of comparison helps paint a picture of the value Pi coin might aim for, a price that gives Pi a role in global transactions and places it competitively alongside current financial standards. In a sense, $100 per Pi isn't just a random number. It's a goal that the core team is working toward with real strategies, market mechanisms, and careful development of the network. And while they won't set an official price, they're crafting an environment that encourages stability around this target. Imagine the Pi core team as a government for Pi Nation, with its own currency, Pi coin, and an exchange rate to manage. This isn't about shouting from the rooftops, but about implementing policies that gradually stabilize the price. And as inflation rises or other economic shifts occur, they'll adjust accordingly to keep Pi valuable and relevant. This careful balancing act is what sets Pi apart from the wild fluctuations of many other cryptos. Now it's natural for some to hear this and think $100 per Pi is still too high or too low, depending on their goals. There's a whole spectrum of opinions on where Pi coin's value should land, but here's what matters most. The Pi network needs a price that works for everyone in the ecosystem, one that allows pioneers to trade, grow, and build the community sustainably. It's not just about setting a high value. It's about finding a value that helps Pi network expand and attract new users, new businesses, and fresh opportunities. In the end, the goal is clear. A stable, reasonable price, fostered by the Pi core team's work, backed by Web3 applications, and rooted in a real economy that pioneers like you help create. So, as Pi network continues to evolve, remember that the value of Pi isn't just a number on a screen, it's the balance of the community's effort, the market support, and the core team's strategy to create a currency that pioneers and the world can depend on. So, to recap, we just explored some fascinating insights into Picoin's potential value, the core team's approach to price stability, and what that means for all of us pioneers. Whether you're holding on to your Pi or just keeping an eye on its future, it's clear that Pi Network's vision is to build a strong, sustainable currency backed by real transactions and community trust. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Your engagement helps us continue bringing you the latest updates and developments on the Pi network. Now, let's hear from you. What price do you think Picoin could realistically reach? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you have any questions or insights to share, we'd love to read them, so feel free to contribute to the conversation in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.